Hello, everyone. Welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. This is your one-stop shop for cryptocurrency analysis, among many other things. I'm sure you've heard that a million times. I apologize if you are a return viewer and if I sound like a broken record. Regardless, we're here today to check out C98, which is an excellent coin. I tell you what, Coin98 has done some awesome things in the past. It looks like it's going to do some pretty cool stuff here in the near future as well. I really feel like its most recent all-time high is a very capable or it's very capable, of course, of hitting that and breaking that. Regardless, we'll take a closer look at that here today. And if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. I recommend you always do your own research and consider, learning as much as you can from as many people as possible. You might hear me say that too. And the reason why is because I got here because of other people, right? I didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to be a good trader. It's taken me 15 years to get here. It probably won't take you that long. Don't get me wrong. I've been working on it for quite some time, but over that time frame in my tenure, I've eventually landed on about an 85% success rate overall with my trading, just because of best practice and making sure that I always stick to a specific trading style, right? So again, it's good to learn as much as you can from everyone. Just make sure you're not just kind of changing as you go along and be like, oh, I'll just let this one go. Create a very strict trading style and make sure you stick with it, right? Because it will work if you apply it, but if you're constantly wavering, trying to change this and that, it can be difficult at first. So I hope you understand what I mean by that. If you need help, of course, I have a trading community / signal group, a link in the description below for that, where I actually send out signals for all the trades that I take. You just one click follow and have a good time. It's really cool. I'm excited about it because we just introduced the trading bots, and it makes things tremendously easier for my patrons and myself. But more importantly, I have a chat group. Of course, we have a private chat, and we get a chance to communicate together, learn as much as we can, and continue to grow as a community. So it's been an awesome experience. Thank you so much to my patrons, and again for requesting that I cover this here today. C98. Let's go ahead and check it out. Without further ado, let's get to the charts. All right, folks, let's go ahead and take a look here at C98. And just before we do, we look at Bitcoin and Ethereum first to get a quick baseline on the market so we know exactly what's going on. And just know, to preface, I use TradingView.com desktop application, and it's really a cool, cool charting tool. It's probably the best I've ever used. So I recommend the paid versions, of course. I have a link in the description below to try it out for a free month, see if you like it or not. The reason I recommend the paid version is because you can have more than 2 indicators present at any given time. And if you've seen my videos or you're new to the channel, I use 2 indicators almost exclusively per time frame. So there's 2 separate ones I use per time frame, and you'll see here in a moment what that is. But for now, let's go ahead and quickly note here. So one-day chart on Bitcoin, just to preface as well, the major resistance level of 46,800 is now a support, so that broke and stayed closed above. Therefore, we're looking to be in pretty good shape for that as a support level if the price does retrace. So me personally, I want to see the price come down to 46,800 so I can take entry and consider a long position to the upside, because I love buying at major support levels. Regardless, that is essentially what we're looking at for the one-day chart. For the 4-hour, though, keep this in mind, we have both moving averages are broken. It's fantastic. They're both at support levels now. So we have a secondary support essentially down here at about 44,000. That was a long channel in the last week or so, but we finally broke, especially with the news from yesterday. So if you're you've been living under a rock, or you're just not up on the news, that's perfectly fine. What happened was the government didn't shut down here in the US. Furthermore, what also happened is the fact that they alluded to the fact that they don't care about cryptocurrency right now. In other words, they're not trying to shut it down like China did. So that really caused a price increase, kind of that fear, uncertainty, and doubt started to dissipate, and we're starting to see an invest in a lot of other altcoins right now, specifically the large market cap coins. So C98's Avalanche, well, pretty much pick any number out of a hat under 100, and they're all doing very well right now. Of course, other coins are too. Everything's pretty much green across the board right now, but the large market cap coins are the ones that are the first to kind of start the altcoin season, which we were right on the precipice. We're right there, okay? Anyways, that's conversation for another day, but for right now, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Ethereum, kind of move on here. Ethereum's doing well, by the way. Obviously, it did good. It pumped up just like Bitcoin did, but look, it's still continuing up to the upside here. Broke past the 200-day simple moving average, leaving the support level of 3,200 in the dust, trending towards the high of 36.38. In other words, that's the most recent high where it got stopped out. So just prepare for the price to kind of stay in this channel for a little while, depending on what Bitcoin does here. Now, granted, Ethereum has a tendency of breaking free of Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes sideways for some time. So if we get some sideways action from Bitcoin for the next couple of days, we might see Ethereum try to push even higher on its own. Moving on to C98, let's take a look here. All right, Coin98, what's going on? I covered it, I think, last time when it went crazy bonkers for a few days, and yeah, it was definitely doing some moving. I think it's going to get back to its previous all-time high. Speaking of which, why don't we just go ahead and mark that? So the previous all-time high, again on the one-day chart where it got closed out, is $5.30. Okay. Because keep in mind, when you draw support and resistance levels, it's really important to consider drawing them on major time frames. So 1 day, 4 hour chart, those are the best times to draw them. You don't just draw like charts based on a 1 minute time frame. Obviously, you're a day trading, perhaps, maybe, but 4 hour and 1 day chart are the two most optimal time frames to consider drawing support and resistance levels. So that's why I just did that. We did have somewhat of a resistance channel here at about $4.10. So go ahead and mark that here. Pretty close, yeah, 408, 410. Right in that range, we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row, we saw the price close really close to that point. So plus or minus 10 cents at $4 basically is a resistance level. So we might see the price kind of get rejected there for a couple days and then break above. We will see, but that is just something to be mindful of. What's great though here, so we have the 50-day simple moving average on the 1 day chart. The price is currently above. Now, granted, this candlestick hasn't closed yet. We've got somewhere in the range of 8 hours left in this trading cycle. Therefore, it's not considered a support level yet, but I think it's pretty safe to say that it will stay there unless Bitcoin, really just drops the ball here in the next 24 hours or 8 hours rather. We should expect to see that close above. It may also close above its previous resistance, but we can't expect that yet because we haven't looked at smaller time frames, but just, we got 8 hours left. That's not a lot of time in a 24-hour period. And it's been doing a lot of movement here in the last 16 hours. Therefore, I think that we should expect for the price to kind of stay below that resistance level for now, but we'll see here soon if that's a possibility or not. RSI is back over 50. That's awesome news. We love to see RSI up over 50 on the 1 day chart because that really implies that we're more bullish convergence instead of bearish divergence. Because as you can see here, the price was held below that for some time. We also have a convergence on the MACD here as well. So this is an excellent sign for a consideration to take a long position, more so a swing trade, right? Some type of swing trade for a longer term position. Obviously, it would be long as well. We're not shorting here, but I think that will really help push us and catapult us past this resistance level of approximately $4.05, 405, 410. Okay, so really good stuff there. I like to see that. Convergence on the MACD is fantastic. We probably had one recently too. Yeah, it was on the 28th. That's not that recent, but there was a convergence back here. We'll just go ahead and mark that on the chart. And bear in mind too, the RSI is up over 70. That's not a problem. That really isn't a big deal. We like to see RSI over 70 because it kind of pushes the price up. As long as we can get a straight, somewhat of a consolidation period in the next few hours, then we're going to be just fine to see it kind of dissipate, stay just right under or above. Because people don't know this, but the 50 on the RSI is essentially a support level, but 70 is also a support level too, and or resistance. So now that the price is above that, it could have a continuation where the price will keep bouncing off of 70 and keep pushing the price up. But the general rule of thumb, if you're going to try to maybe say you're skimming, you're trying to take profits, say you got in at somewhere around $3 and you're trying to take your 30% profit. You could literally, skim some off the top and then wait for the price to come down and bounce off of just say the 200-day simple moving average and move and reinvest, right? There's different ways you can do it essentially, but if you're just plain old swing trading this guy, don't worry about it. Don't touch it if you're already in a position. Maybe consider adding to your position because there's a great chance it will break this resistance level here soon. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. Let's go ahead and mark this guy here as well. We got a pretty strong support level here. I don't think the price will come back down to 335, but let's just go ahead and mark it anyways. And all in all, yeah, we're looking pretty good here. We do also have potential there. Let's quickly grab the Fibonacci and see where we're at for now. So yeah, we got a little guy here as well. Let's go ahead and mark that too. All right. Cool. So we got our support and resistance levels here set. There is basically a primary support at 372 and a secondary support at we can round up and say 340. All right, let's take a look at the 1 hour chart and see where the Ishimoku cloud is lining up. I'm pretty sure we're above. Big surprise there. And also too, just note that I marked the 4 hour chart in MACD convergence here. That little line that you can see there, again, is plus or minus 4 hours, but that basically was when the MACD converged in the 4 hour chart. That's probably the most important, more influential indicator you could use when swing trading. Even day trading, of course, but more so swing trading in the sense that if you're planning to hold on long, say you'd got in right around there when a MACD converged in the 4 hour chart, then you would have caught somewhere in the range, is that about 30%? Okay, 40, 38, somewhere in the range of, 30 to 40% essentially. So you'd be up 30 to 40% had you caught that little MACD convergence. Keep in mind too, you don't just arbitrarily jump in on a MACD convergence, so you want to make sure it's above support. And if you're looking at this here on the 1 hour, you can see that the price was tested and held above 3 or 4 times. And also note too, we saw on Bitcoin that it has these major support channels. Like if you see right here as well, 41,000 created strong support. So as the price is bouncing off right there at 40,000, you can see right here as well, the price is concurrently bouncing off of a support level that it's creating. Right, so that's why we look at Bitcoin first to make sure we understand what it's doing, because if Bitcoin is holding support, then there's a strong chance that C98 will hold its own support level as well, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at there. But generally speaking, yeah, say you'd bought there, you'd be up 30, 40%, great. The price being over the cloud is fantastic. And just to clarify, if you're new to the cloud, Ishimoku cloud is an awesome indicator. It works concurrently with the MACD convergence on the 4 hour chart. Specifically on the 1 hour chart, you use the Ishimoku cloud. And what that does is basically when the price is above the cloud, it's considered a buy signal. When it's below, it's considered a sell signal, right? So hypothetically, had you shorted right here, you would have been up, I don't know, somewhere in the range of 15%, right? Had you hypothetically went long right here, you would be up somewhere in the range of 30 to 35%, right? So, again, it's not foolproof, but if you're bouncing off a support and you have a consistent support channel, support level, like this one here at about 275, then you can almost guarantee profit if you were to take entry when a MACD is converging. Because I don't know why, but it's my favorite way of investing. I love buying the dips. I'm not chasing the bottom because I wait for the bottom to become established and reaffirmed with confirmation. But once you have that confirmation, even if you get in, here, or here, you're still going to take profit because that continuation of that bullish trend is happening, right? Anyways, I hope that makes sense. And I explain all this to my community members. I have a private chat group in my Patreon, or for my patrons, of course. Link in the description below for that, of course. I think I already mentioned that, but the benefit is the fact that I send out signals like this to my community members, and we were able to follow along too. What's cool is you got a one-click follow option for all my day trades, and you can literally just press one button and it follows the same exact trade. But regardless, everything you see here so far I use in my own analysis, and I tell you that I do this every single time. So what I'm sharing with you here today has led me to become more successful over the years. I now have average about 85% of my trades. They're successful because of this. Granted, I have good stop loss and good profit targets. Those are all things, again, I share with my community members. But those things aside, I use this kind of analysis every single time I take a trade, and I just make sure that it checks the boxes, right? Preferably over the MACD convergence. We got a MACD convergence in the 4 hour chart. Preferably over the 1 hour chart on the Ishimoku cloud on the 1 hour chart. And then furthermore, we look at the 15. Why don't we do that right now as well and see where we're at for EMA and VWAP. Okay. Now we're a bit on the overextended side here. If we can see the standard deviation, we were right up the top. But cool thing is we're staying above the EMA line, so it's really holding the price in place. So the bulls are still in control here. And then of course we've got the MACD correction, the VWAP. The VWAP line is increasing, which is great because that's basically a continuous support. So let's see what that percentage is. We're looking at about 6.5%. Now I'm skipping a few steps here. I'm just kind of jumping right in. Normally I try to take the time to explain what I'm referring to here, because if you're new to the channel, you may not know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. Let me reiterate that. The VWAP is this blue line here. That's the volume weighted average price. That takes the volume last 24 hours, expresses it as a price. So right now, according to the volume for C98, we should see a price about $3.68, whereas the price is upwards about $3.90. That again is only about a 6% variance, which is healthy and comfortable. When it gets over 10%, it gets a little crazy. And what 10% is basically the VWAP here. So if you see these standard deviation lines on the top and bottom, when the price gets out of that norm, it's too far out, the price has to retract and come back down. So when I look at something like this, I quickly identify, okay, great. We're still within standard deviation. We're under 10%. We can likely still see a continuation of this bullish trend. It's very likely. Now, again, I want to see some consolidation based on the increase that it's had here so far, but we're still very well within the means. Now, let's take a quick look at the 1 hour chart. I'm bouncing around here a little bit. I apologize, but I forgot to do TD sequential because we need to identify if we are at an exhaustive state in this bull trend, this bull market, right? Or this bullish push, if you will. So what we look for here, first of all, for TD sequential, it's pretty straightforward. In other words, what it does is it counts up from 1 to 9. When you hit a 9, it's considered to be overextended, or more so just reached a state of exhaustion, right? Because you normally only see bullish trends last somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 hours. So when you get a 9, there's a good chance it's going to reverse and turn back around. What do you know here? What do you see here? We're at a 9 right now. Correction, we're at basically like a 12. Okay. Now it stops counting up at 9 because that basically tells us, hey, this is the limit. It's pretty much past the point where it should either retrace or consolidate. So what we should do is we should expect the price to go sideways, maybe even retrace back down to $3.72, and then maybe bounce back to the upside around $4.10. Will it continue to push up right now? I don't think so. And the main reason why is because of the fact that we need to have some type of consolidation. Do you see the second leg up here? That only happened because we had this nice little sideways action for about 4 hours first. Okay, so we can get some sideways action here for just say another 4 to 8 hours. Then we will likely see a leg back up here where the price will go ahead and push past its previous resistance. If that happens, we may see a short squeeze that will push the price up even further. Yeah, I think, yeah, so I mean, generally speaking here, for a comfortable, healthy bull run, it has to have the same pattern, right? It has to be up, over, up, over. Hold on, let me clear all this out, sorry. Getting a little messy in here. All right, let's make that a little bit better. So just so you understand what I'm saying, a healthy bull run will always have, it'll look like a staircase, okay? Now this is a pretty steep staircase, don't get me wrong, but it's still a good one, right? So what we're looking at here is we got this, up, over, right? Up, over. Now if it goes up again right now, it'll be too steep to take that step up to the next level. It'll get rejected at that resistance level. However, if we get some more sideways action, kind of let it calm down a little bit, there's a strong chance we will see another leg up to push past the resistance. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I know it's weird to kind of look at it like this because it hasn't happened yet, but these are the things that I look at to kind of predict where things are going to go. Again, we got all the factors are here, right? We got a convergence on the 1-day chart. That's huge. RSI is up over 50. We had a MACD convergence on the 4-hour chart about 4 days ago, but that's still in continuation, still continuing on. And then on top of that, we had Bitcoin take off yesterday. And look at this, C98 did not take off yesterday. It took off more so today, right? So in the last 9 hours, it's taking off versus yesterday's 9 hours for Bitcoin, right? So I guess what I'm getting at here is C98's a little bit of a lag. It's lagging behind Bitcoin. It's not moving up synonymously with it. It's not concurrent, if you will. But what it is moving up at a lag. And a lot of large market cap coins do that. Or, we saw Ethereum here as well. That's taking off too. Whereas Bitcoin is going sideways. So it's a very common theme you'll see in Bitcoin, or more so crypto rather, but with Bitcoin specifically. When Bitcoin has a massive leg up, other coins will follow suit, only typically later in the day or later the day after. Okay, so as you can kind of see here, strong leg up on October 1st. We had a leg up here for Ethereum on October 1st, but now it has its continuation, right? Because it's been held down for much longer than it should have. Same thing with C98 as well. October 1st, yeah, it moved up a little bit. Maybe how much percent was that? About 12%. But now we've seen an increase of about 18, 17% today alone, right? Again, I hope you're following with me with what I'm saying there. I'm trying to explain as much as I can, but it's not something you learn overnight, but these are things that I bring to the attention of all my patrons. So again, consider subscribing to that. Would greatly appreciate that. Helps the channel grow, of course, and that is my main squeeze right now. So I look forward to getting to know you a bit better if you end up joining. If not, thank you so much for joining me here today and watching the video this far. It shows you are trying to learn as much as you can and to grow as much as possible as a trader, and that's really important. Learn as much as you can from everyone, right? It's just a big wealth of knowledge. Everyone has so much to offer, and I think it's important you develop your own trading style. Anyways, I know I say that a lot. Apologize, but I hope you found benefit here today. Again, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.